Hey, welcome back everybody. Alright, back at the hangar and getting the equipment ready. I got some ground equipment I need to get ready before the show. Currently it's Tuesday, so I'm gonna get some stuff ready, including this guy that you guys may have seen in some background shots. This is a mobile electric power plant, also known as the NC8 Alpha. And what it is basically a generator on wheels. And I had an issue with it the other day. It makes both AC and DC power for aircraft. Big thing is that it is self-propelled, just like a lot of our tugs. However, this thing is not rated to pull any sort of significant amount of weight, so it can't pull aircraft. It doesn't drive like any other tug where, you know, you have an engine and a transmission, an axle, and it moves under its own power directly off the engine. This is different. It's diesel electric, very similar to a train. However, so the engine drives a generator, which put power to electric motors on the wheels. Kind of like a golf cart, except instead of batteries, it's using a diesel generator. So I had some issues with this the other day. It would go in reverse, but not forwards. That's kind of a problem because we need it to drive. And the way it was facing the other day, it was facing out of the hangar, so it wouldn't drive out. It's kind of a, certainly don't want to push this thing out because it's really heavy. Let me show you what I had going on with it. So down in here is the electrical bay, and we got an awful lot of stuff. Like I said, this thing produces DC power, so we can help start other aircrafts, and that's why we want it out on the ramp, is not only for our stuff like the ME262, but if anybody needs a hand, we can hook them up with some electric power and get them going for the show. But so over here we got some big contactors, and this is what determines whether it goes forward or reverse, and a few other things. A lot of detailed stuff I don't want to get into, but this is where a lot of that stuff happens. And I was getting power going reverse, but not forward. Eventually got that thing working, and now it drives both directions, and it's repeatable. So, good to go there. I'm happy that it works. And this thing also needs a little bit of work on the brakes. More brakes. Yay. Alright, so it's Wednesday. Still don't have any idea what we're rolling out. We're getting the F4 button back up so we can roll her out, which we're expecting to be able to roll out. I'll learn more about that later this afternoon. Right now I got to get our aircraft tug serviced and get its brakes going. And just something for you guys. I put a new microphone on the GoPro. Hopefully it sounds pretty good, but it'll definitely cut down on some of the wind noise, and hopefully do a lot better for this weekend. It's Airshow time. I want to get this going. Alright, so this morning I got to deal with the brakes on our aircraft tug. Nickname is Darlin. Unlike Sparky, which you guys got to see me do the brake job on that one. However, I'm not going to film all the action of doing yet another brake job on another tug. So give me a second and I'll be back with the magic of editing. Alrighty, back to normal. So that's looking good. You guys are probably going to hear some cool stuff in the background, especially today. We got a lot of stuff arriving today. We had the Blue Angels arrive yesterday. Or, I'm sorry, two of the Blue Angels 7, and they got 2 aircraft that are numbered 7. Those arrived yesterday, and the rest of the team just arrived today, so 1 through 6. They arrived, so you're probably going to hear some cool stuff in the background today. So we got the Blue Angels, there's an F-16 demo. I'm not sure if there's an A-10. The B-29, that showed up yesterday. That was a real treat to see land. That was awesome. We got a lot of cool stuff happening. Just getting stuff ready, getting it going. Oh, one more point to clarify. I know I've used this in the past in previous videos where I've said our air show. This isn't an air show that the Collings Foundation is hosting. This is just our local air show. It's Wings Over Houston, so hence our air show. It's a point to clarify. Alright, so one of the problems I ran into on the NC8, and probably why it was running like garbage last week, was this little guy. There wasn't a belt on the alternator and the battery voltage was low, so last weekend before I left, I put a battery charger on it. It's a 24 volt system. So I found a belt for its alternator, so I'm gonna put this in and let's make sure it works. Alright, so back on to the NC8, the electric cart, and I was able to find a spare belt and get it tensioned up and drive the alternator. Oh! Sounds like the Blue Angels are having some fun. Alright, yep, so alternator's being driven now with a properly tensioned belt, and it's not squeaking anymore, which is good. So let's double check and make sure this thing is actually doing what it's supposed to. Now, for those of you that have never seen one of these, yes, this is a Detroit diesel. It's a 2-stroke diesel, really old, and it actually has a supercharger, or more specifically, a scavenge blower. This helps clear the exhaust gases out of the cylinder, and if it weren't for that, this thing would barely run, or run at all. So these engines actually required that in order to run properly. Kind of neat stuff. Alright, so it's Thursday afternoon, and I have fantastic news. So from what I understand, the Airshow wants our F4, our F100, and our TA4 out on the ramp for display. So we got some crappy weather coming in tomorrow, but once that passes, all 3 of these wonderful birds will be out on the ramp for display for this year's show. Super happy about that. I was hoping we'd get the F4 flying for the show, but like I said in another video, that just wasn't in the cards. However, the TA4, the F100 Super Sabre, and the F4 Phantom will be out on the ramp for this year's show. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll have some more on Friday, which by the time this video comes out, it'll likely be Friday. So I'll have some more information on Friday for the air show coming up, and also some footage of us bringing all these wonderful aircraft out. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to leave you guys a montage of stuff that I filmed throughout the day, because I got to see some of the practices for some of the aircraft that'll be flying, and it's awesome. So thanks again for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video.